Now, some units in Genshin Impact can stand the test of time, and some of them have stayed in the top ranks for so long that everybody shills for them. And I am one of those people that shills for this unit consistently, and you probably already figured it out by the thumbnail and probably by the title that we are talking about the big dong daddy himself, Zhongli. Now, of course, I love Zhongli. I think he's a fantastic unit, and I've made him better for myself just actually in these last like 10 minutes because my Zhongli was terrible before, but we went ahead and fixed him. And honestly, I'm going to show you guys how you should build your Zhongli, not only from the ascensions from level 1 to level 90, but also how you should build your Zhongli for the maximum potential at the very least. Now guys, if you like the content, please make sure to hit that like and subscribe button down below and hit that notification bell to be notified when the next Genshin Impact video comes out. Guys, today's sponsored video thingamadoodlebob is sponsored by Gamer Subs. If you guys like a gluten-free, keto-friendly option energy powder, definitely take a look at Gamer Subs, link down in the description for 10% off. And also, if you guys have noticed, setup's changed a little bit. Camera facing this way now, and I got my mic right up here so I don't have to yell at you lovely people who are watching this video. But without any further delay and me simping over my mic, let's go ahead and get right into it. Now, as you can see, we have Zhongli pulled up right here. He is a Geo pole arm user, that's what I was trying to say, from Liyue. Now honestly, Zhongli's been out for so long. I believe, if I remember correctly, he came out in, what was it, we had Venti Klee, and then after that I think it was Zhongli. Zhongli was pretty dang close. He was pretty out there. Zhongli's been out for a while. Zhongli has had controversies surrounding him for so long with certain things, where he got buffed twice, where he didn't need it, and yeah, it's just crazy. But Zhongli is one of the best units in the game, and today we're going to talk about that. But first things first, if you're new to Zhongli, here's what you're going to need to ascend him, right? You're going to need these gems that we talk about all the time. We really do. You're going to need these silvers, these fragments, these chunks, and these gemstones. Now, these are part of the Perithvia Topaz section, which is, of course, the Geo section of it. You're going to need 1 of these silvers, 9 of these fragments, 9 of these chunks, and 6 of these gemstones. Now, what bosses can you farm for these right here? Well, I gotta tell you, there's actually plenty of options. You have the Geo Hypostasis, the Golden Wolf Lords, the Ruined Serpents, the Experimental Field Generators. There's even world bosses that you could get with this, like Azdaha. If you're a masochist and you love Azdaha, I hate Azdaha so much. I never want to face him again. But Azdaha, you can get it. But I would highly recommend that you get your work on with the Geo Hypostasis, and we'll get to that here in just a second. Before we do that, just make sure, as we talk about always, 3 silvers make a fragment, 3 fragments make a chunk, and 3 chunks make a gemstone. In case you have a lot of silvers like I do, we have to condense them to make these gemstones. Do it. It takes a lot, but trust me, it's worth it. Now, of course, for your farming, you're going to need these basalt pillars. Now, the basalt pillars drop from the Geo Hypostasis that we just talked about, and that boss honestly is one that I always try to avoid because I hate it. But Zhongli actually does help you out with this when it spawns its 3 pillars, causing that damage to actually break those pillars. So you're going to need 46 of these basalt pillars, which means that you're probably going to be doing about 23 runs at a maximum. But honestly, it probably won't even be that. I believe the minimum that you could do is 16, so it's going to be in between there. But yeah, you're going to need 46 in total of the basalt pillars. Now, Core Lapis is also another thing that's difficult to farm. Core Lapis, you actually have to use a character with a greatsword, or again, use Zhongli to break those rocks. You're going to need a grand total of 168 of these Core Lapis. Now, Core Lapis can be found in Liyue. Again, this character's been out for so long, you don't need much besides that. Now, something that you should have an overabundance of, unless you're brand new, are the slime condensates. You're going to need the regular slime condensates, you're going to need the slime secretions, and then you're going to need the slime concentrates. Now, we're going to go down to this chart right here. As you can see, you're going to need 18 in total of the slime condensates. You're going to need 30 of the slime secretions, and of course 36 of the slime concentrates. Now, I had to take a drink real quick. you're going to need to know that 3 of these condensates make a secretion, and 3 of the secretions make a concentrate. So concentrate on doing that. See what I did there? Also, let's go ahead and talk about if you're going to triple crown your Zhongli. I wouldn't recommend triple crowning him. Honestly, I think you really just need to work on his skill and his burst. But I digress. If you love your big dong Zhong, you're going to want to triple crown him just for funsies. Here's what you're going to need, right? These books right here, the Teachings of Gold, you're going to need in total 9 Teachings of Gold, 63 of these Guides to Gold, and 114 of these Philosophies of Gold. Now, as we talked about before, you got to look at the rule of 3. So you're going to need 3 of these teachings to make a guide, and 3 of these guides to make a philosophy. Pretty straightforward. Of course, you're going to need more slime concentrates, condensates, all that stuff. So for the condensates, you're going to need another 18. For the secretions, you're going to need 66. And of course, for the concentrates, you're going to need a grand total of 93 on top of the ones that you needed from before for your ascension. So please make sure that you farm those up. Now, of course, we also need certain drops. These Tusks of the Monacero Kale, or Kale, however you want to say it, drops from the Childe World boss fight. If you're a veteran like me, you have plenty of these just lying around, to be quite honest. You're going to need a grand total of 18 of them. Yeah, and up to 2 or 3, actually. I think up to 3 can drop from Childe per time you do it. But it's only once per week, so be ready for that. And then, of course, you need 3 Crowns of Insights. Every one of them needs that. That's pretty straightforward. Zhongli, like I just said, is better that you go for the skill and the burst for your crowns. Don't go for the normal attack. You really don't need to. But if you do, again, if that's your husbando, I can't blame you. Big Dong Zhong is legit. So let's go ahead and now jump into the game now. As you can see here, I have my big dongy Zhongi right here. I'm going to keep saying Big Dong Zhong. I hope you guys don't mind that. But yeah, Big Dong Zhong. Here we go. So as you can see, my Big Dong Zhong is built for HP. He's going to be at, like, I think it's 36,000 in total, or 46,000 in total. I'm dumb, but he's 46,000 big PP damage HP. Not really big PP damage, but big PP HP. Let's move on. Anyways, Zhongli is built for HP. When it comes to his stats and for artifacts or weapons, just listen to that. But where are those who share the memory? That's right. Now, when it comes to your weapons and when it comes to your artifacts, you're going to want to focus on your primary stats, which HP percentage, your biggest one, and then followed by energy recharge, and then crits, and then HP flat. So as you can see, my crit ratios, pretty abysmal. My energy recharge, not so great, but my HP, pretty high. That's the ultimate goal. But of course, it would be a lot higher if we got a certain weapon. Now, let's go ahead and talk about some of the best weapons to use for Zhongli. Honestly, the funniest thing about it, you guys, and I love saying this because this isn't normal. His best weapon is this, in my opinion, the Black Tassel. Now, the reason why the Black Tassel is so good on him is, one, it's one of the few HP percentage weapons out there. There's only, I believe, one other one, and we'll get to that for pole arms. But it also increases damage against slimes, which he needs slimes anyway, so there's that. You can also run the new weapon, which I have not actually pulled this weapon, so I pulled up its information. The new forgeable 4-star weapon, pole arm, the Rightful Reward. When the wielder is healed, restore 8 energy. This effect can be triggered once every 10 seconds and can occur even when the character is not on the field. Now, why is that important? Healing you're not going to really need, but what you are going to need for your Zhongli is energy, and it makes sense to be able to run the Rightful Reward because its HP base stat goes all the way up to 27.6%, which is not as good as the Black Tassel. Surprisingly, the Black Tassel goes up to 46.9%. That's insane. But what Black Tassel doesn't do is give you energy so that you can throw your meatballs at people, which is fantastic. Big Dong Zhong summons dongs and throws balls at you. There's a lot of innuendos there. But there's other weapons that could work. Honestly, if you want to go for a DPS Zhongli of sorts, you could go for the Staff of Homa. Really great option. Only reason why I'm not really using it is because that's my Hu Tao weapon. That does not leave Hu Tao. You could even run a Favonius Lance, obviously because the energy recharge is really, really good. Don't pay attention to that one. Pay attention more to this one. I digress. You could also run the Catch, as I see here. A lot of people run the Catch because of its energy recharge abilities. And I'm running Vortex Vanquisher because it increases my shield strength by 20%. The only thing that sucks is it boosts attack, and I don't really need attack on my Zhongli. Artifacts. Let's talk about artifacts really quick. I am running a 4-piece Tenacity of the Millilith, which is exactly what you want to run for your Zhongli to give you that big HP bonuses. Now, of course, you can run other artifacts here. Let me see if I can find one in particular. Is this it? No, that's the Nymphs. It's called Varakasha's Wrath. I don't use it because I think it's a pretty trash set, to be quite honest. But you could run a 2-piece of that with 2-piece Tenacity. You can run a 4-piece Noblesse, actually, which actually kind of works out with your Elemental Burst, increasing the party member's attack by 20%. So that's a good support ability. Or you could run the 4-piece Archaic Petra for that Geo damage. But unfortunately, nothing compares to you. Tenacity of the Millilith. It's that good. Please. I'm sorry for my nasty singing, but I digress again. We're talking about Tenacity in the Millilith. Now, your main stats. We're going to talk about the fact that you want HP as your Sands, HP as your Goblet, HP as your Circlet. Now, people might argue that if you want to go a DPS, you can go crit rate, crit damage all throughout that. That's fine. If you want a DPS Zhongli, crit rate, crit damage is needed. But make sure you have HP percentage as well. Especially on your Sands, keep the HP percentage, you're going to need it. Now, as I said before, your main stats to focus on are HP percentage, energy recharge, crit rate, crit damage, and then HP flat. Don't need anything else really for that matter. Now, for my Zhongli today, I've tested him before with the C1. We're going to be testing him at C2 now, where Planet Befall grants nearby characters on the field the Jade Shield when it descends. So not only do I get it when I summon my big dong, but I also get it when I summon my big ball. Craziness, right? That's going to be absurd. But let's go ahead and talk about these talents first. First things first, let's talk about the Dominus Lepidus, which is, you know, your big dong. When you press it, commands the power of Earth to create 1 stone Seele. If you hold it, causes nearby geo energy to explode, causing the following effects. If the maximum number hasn't been reached, creates a stone Seele, and it creates a shield of jade. The shield's damage absorption scales based on Zhongli's match HP, which is why you want to boost up Zhongli's HP. It just makes sense. Deals AoE geo damage, and if there are nearby targets with a geo element, it will drain the large amount of geo element from the maximum of 2 such targets. So if you have a, you know, stone slime, that's perfect, because then you can just get rid of that. Now, let's get into the Jade Shield stuff. Jade Shield possesses 150% damage absorption against all elemental and physical damage. Characters protected by the Jade Shield will decrease the elemental resistance and physical resistance of opponents in a small AoE of 20%, which means that you want to summon those dogs. Now, I have a C1 Zhongli, which means I could double dog, and that means that's 20% on both sides. That's pretty freaking big. Now, of course, the Planet Befall brings a falling meteor down to Earth, dealing massive geo damage to opponents caught in its AoE and applying the petrification status to them. What is petrification? Well, it freezes them basically for a little bit. Opponents affected by the petrification status cannot move. Pretty self-explanatory. Let's go ahead and talk about the first Ascension passive. When the Jade Shield takes damage, it'll fortify. Fortified characters with 5% have 5% increased shield strength can stack up to 5 times and last until the Jade Shield disappears. And then the second Ascension passive, Dominions of Earth. Zhongli deals bonus damage based on his max HP. Normal attack, charge attack, and plunging attack damage is increased by 1.39 of max HP. Dominus Lepidus, Stone Seele, Resonance, and hold damage is increased by 1.9% of max HP. And Planet Befall's damage is increased by 33% of max HP. That is bonkers, which is why you want to make sure that you have enough HP to go around. Your talent priorities should be your, you know, big dong and then your big ball. That's all I'm gonna say on that. Now, I could show you a team like this, which is pretty normal. This is a Yoimiya Monopyro. Okay. But, you know, there's other characters. I could show you an all Geo team, which I've done before, and this team rocks. No pun intended. But I'm going to show you this LUNAE mono pyro team. And the reason being is because I want to show what damage reduction plus interruption, like, or no interruption, does for LUNAE. It's pretty crazy, especially since he actually boosts from mono pyro. It makes sense. But Dia is going to help out with that resistance negation, or not resistance negation, but the ability to resist being staggered. So we're going to show off this team. Now, I have play tested this before. I know for a fact this works, so we're going to do it. You're here. Shall we spar? Let's go. As you can see with my dong right there. So first things first, I want to show you Zhongli's big meatball. Boom. Now, as you can see, we just got our shield and the petrified status is on there, and that lasts for a pretty decent long time. So we're going to activate one pillar, and we held it so that we could keep the jade shield up, right? I'm waiting. He's healing, and that's fine because we're not going to have to worry about that. We're going to do this right there, and now we're going to get to work. We've already kind of showed exactly what happens, but now we can just let LUNAE work. Oh yeah, go ahead, hit me. Oh wow, that's crazy. That didn't work as well as I thought for a second, but let me go ahead and get my shield back. There we go. Now look, he's gonna do, oh wow, the shield worked perfectly. And now look at that, he's almost dead. Easy peasy. Zhongli makes any team just work. It's absurd. And then just doing that, boom, you get your shield back. Look at that, it's perfect. You have every chance to get your shield back at a C2 Zhongli. Now, if you don't get a C1 or a C2 Zhongli, that's fine. He's still so freaking good. He does so, he puts in the work for your team without you having to do much. And that's really all I can say about Zhongli. And I know a lot of people are probably tired of me saying how good Zhongli actually is. He is that dang good. And then the next build guide that I do of him, I'll probably say the same thing. And then the build guide after that, he is one of the characters that has stood the test of time. How ironic that the oldest character, technically, or the oldest Archon from my understanding of this game, is also one of the oldest characters to be at the top of the food chain for Genshin Impact. That's really all I could say about it. It's just that good. Now, y'all, I hope that you liked the content today, and hopefully I brought you to the side of Zhongli. Be a Zhongli stan. I'm just saying, it's worth it. Guys, if you love the content, please make sure to hit that like and subscribe button down below, and don't forget to hit the notification bell to be notified of when the next Genshin Impact video comes out. Guys, we have a bunch of stuff planned for the channel. I'm super stoked for the stuff going on, and I really hope that you enjoy the mic actually being close to my face, so I'm not yelling at you from far away like this. You know, actually I could give a little bit of energy without having to worry about straining my vocal cords too much. I can be a little bit more animated and be a little bit away from my mic. So I don't know. Anyways, that's gonna be it. Love you all to death. And as always, we will catch you guys in the next video. Please take care and be safe.